Hello everyone. Once again welcome to the pedagogy of school subject mathematics. In the previous videos we were discussed about meaning of curriculum, principles of mathematics curriculum construction and approaches to curriculum organization in mathematics. Today it is the continuation part of approaches to curriculum organization in mathematics. Approaches to curriculum organization. There are different approaches to organize the mathematics curriculum. The important among them are topical approach, spiral approach, logical and psychological approach, unitary approach and integrated approach. So these are the important methods, or we can say it is methods also, while constructing the while organizing the mathematics curriculum. In the previous video already I have given explanation about topical approach and spiral approach. Today in this video I am going to discuss about logical and psychological approach as well as unitary approach. All of you understood about topical and spiral approaches and their nature and advantages. Let's discuss about logical and psychological approach. So this is a another important method. I think it is also very important and very benefits to the students also, with keeping the all the levels of education, whether it is a primary, secondary, +2 level, like that. So these two approaches or modes has to be moved parallelly, logic as well as psychological. So that's why it's kept under the one heading, that is logical and psychological approach. Both has to be moved parallelly, then it's going to be more benefits to the students. In the development of particular branch of mathematics, the mathematician is chiefly concerned with the logical rigorous treatment of the subject matter, whereas the teacher is usually concerned with its psychological organization and presentation. It is the curriculum organizer who is called upon to integrate the two approaches. It may be remarked that two do not differ substantially. There is no reason why the organization cannot be both logical and psychological. The happy combination of the two is very desirable and feasible. Yes, of course, it's going to be meet the requirements of the students. All thinking is psychological education should be make it logical as well. So this is the last statement. I think it's going to be combination of both logical. Psychological education should be make it logic as well. It's then going to be very effective, like that going to be. Psychology throws a light on the use of topic for the students from the academic as well as the particular point of view. It takes into consideration the power of understanding and grasping the pupils in a particular age level group. Yes, this is going to be very useful when we are considering or organizing curriculum of mathematics. Psychological way. Psychological approach deals with the personality of a students or psychological aspects of the students. Nothing but cognition development, characteristics of growth and development, their perceptions, their attitudes, interest, keeping all those viewpoints, psychological aspects of the students at a different level, when we are considering primary, upper primary, secondary level and +2 level. So all these characteristics and aspects of the students, by keeping all those things, we have to organize the curriculum. Yes, of course, at the primary level, the mental growth, it's in the beginning stage. What are the basics and fundamentals we have to give an exposure to the students? Those concepts or ideas has to be kept at the primary level. Then it has to be moved according to the what type of the general and common characteristics we can find in the students community at a different level. When it comes to the high school level, then +2 level, based on those characteristics we have to be organized. So while keeping their interest, perception level, logical reasoning ability, all these things are, so how they are moving, so they are analysis power, the faculties of the mind, so they are improved versions, analysis, synthesis, logical reasoning, thinking and divergent thinking, all the types of thinking, all these comes under that one. While keeping all those things, we have to organize all the concepts when it comes to the mathematics curriculum. That is actually the psychological approach. We have to keep their interest, what they are dealing with every day to day life according to the age group. Age means why we have to consider. So that particular type of age, they are possessing some common psychological characteristics generally. So maybe the mental characteristics, cognition development under what we were studied, and physical, all those things comes under there, that one. So that is the thing we can keep in that mind. So that is psychological approach. The next is the order in which topics are to be taken will largely depend on its findings. Yes, of course. Similarly, logic should be there. Psychology should decide what kind of the logic is appropriate for the pupils of a certain age, and which type of topics will be most suitable for the development of such logical thinking. Yes, of course, it is very important. So psychology has to decide what type of the logic we have to be given to the students at different levels based on the psychological approach. There should be a logic. And logic is nothing but, it is nothing but a one type of reasoning ability, whether it has to be move inductive way or deductive way, like that we have to. Inductive approaches not be given the type of exposure at the early stage, so we can give deductions directly to the approved facts of the mathematical concepts, axioms, theorems, etc. When they are coming, so the proofs we are going, that is nothing but the induction, like that it has to be moved. So the what type of the logic we have to give, so that is completely based on the psychology of the students at a particular age group. That is we have to be keep in our mind. Logic will help in maintaining the link and sequence of the topics which are useful and meaningful for the child. In combination, these two viewpoints, so the spelling it is not correct, TOW, it has become TWO. These two viewpoints can make the subject matter interesting and comprehensible. Yes, of course. Logic, so as I said, now psychological aspects we have to consider. That is nothing but the psychology approach of organization of mathematics curriculum. So psychological aspects is nothing but interest, their age group, their mental development characteristics, perception, attitude, etc., and aptitude also sometimes. So here it is come time, logic means has to be what type of the logic. Logic here comes nothing but the sequence of the topics we are presenting to the students, or we are giving from primary to the secondary or +2 level. What should be the sequence? So within the classroom also, within the one subject what they are studying every day, and also arrangement from class to class, from beginning to the higher education level also. There should be a sequence, there should be a logical order. So very systematic sequence. If one has to be studied, so the prerequisites, so that basis upon that we can study the next concepts, like that it has to be moved. When if you are not understood about the plane figures, not moving to the not possible to understand clearly about three-dimensional figures. Plane figures is a fundamental base. When you understood clearly, then move on to the next one, that is 3D, isn't it? So polygons, then coming to the 3 dimensions, the or solids, you can move like that. So when you are moving to the number systems clearly, when you are understanding, later you can move on to that another type of set of numbers, like sets you can give it, matrices you can give, then coming to the complex numbers. This is a sequence, it is possible because they require prerequisite as a number system. Then you can understand clearly about other things. So when you are understanding the operations of all the basic fundamental number system with the manipulation of the different set of numbers like natural, integers and real numbers, later we can move on to the operations comes under the fractions, decimals, like that we can move. That is a sequence. So once if they are understood clearly about the prerequisite base or previous knowledge what we are saying, so then they can move on to the another things or another concepts, like that. Sequential arrangement is nothing but a logical arrangement that we have to keep in our mind. Within the particular class we can arrange like this, and also when we are moving from primary to the secondary level also it has to be so kept the different chapters like under that, which are useful and meaningful for the, then only it is possible for the students, like that they can understand very clearly if they are arranged in a sequential way. In combination of these two points, we can take the subject matter interesting and comprehensible. Yes, then it will create interest. Logic not only the sequence order, and also it has to be move some maxims of teaching or principles of teaching. Have you heard about very simple to the complex, like that you can arrange the concepts when it comes to the more abstract concepts later they have to study, like that simple to complex, and like that you can go ahead with that so many other things, simple to complex, easy to difficulty, like that more concrete to the abstract in nature, like such concepts, such topics you have to arrange within the class, one particular class, and from primary to the secondary level. These are the comes under the logical approach. You can arrange the concepts and chapters like this, both logical as well as psychological way. For example, so I have given already, so this is another example. Logically, decimal fraction is to follow immediately after numerical notation, but psychologically it should not. This is said because the place value of digits is the common principles involved. Yes, this principle of place value of digits is involved in addition, multiplication, division, etc. And any of these topics can follow immediately after the number notation. On the other hand, there is a principle not common to both. The idea of fraction should be known before its notation. Yes. So both psychology and logic require that it should come after the fraction. There is no opposition between psychological and logical approaches. Anything you can add up for that one examples. You can go ahead with the 8th, 9th and 10th standard books, mathematics books. You can find out how sequentially all the concepts are arranged, like that you can check out whether it is help the students to connect the first chapter what they were studied, later what they are going to study. So whether it is there is a connection between all those things, like that you can check out all those things. So that is nothing but most of the concepts, I think 8th and 9th 10th standard, most of the concepts arranged in a logical way, sequential way. So that is more useful for the students to understand all the concepts in a real way and in a meaningful way. That is going to be more useful for the students also. This is both the logical as well as psychological approach of curriculum organization. Next, move on to the another approach, that is unitary method. Yes, unitary means we have to uh, arrange the all relevant or related concepts or topics in a one big unit. That is unitary approach. Interlinked, so one or the other way some concepts are interlinked. So the such matters, such concepts has to be kept under one big unit. Then it has to be divided like subunits, one by one we can link to like that. So after linking that one, it will become a holistic approach. So that is going to be more useful for the students to understand in one big slot. That is nothing but unitary approach. The students learn mathematics with its different branches and topics in a watertight compartments. So in the last few decades, the teachers in the mathematics have searched for broad unifying principles which should be made the core of mathematical course. The most frequently mentioned unifying factor is arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and indeed in all mathematical subjects is function concept. If unifying principles are made the basis of organization, the courses will be greatly improved. Yes, all arithmetic related concepts when togetherly kept in a unit wise, like that in the branch of algebra it deals with the from basic operations to the another applications, like that it will linear equations, like that it will comes graphically. So it has to be moved, so togetherly all linked interlinked concepts has to be deal in algebra also, like that in the geometrical concepts. So that is going to be very useful for the students to get idea of the holistic picture of the interrelated concepts. Suppose that complete understanding of the function, so it is missed here. It is one equation, y is equal to some linear, taken one function or a linear equation, y is equal to mx plus b mode one of the major division of first year algebra. All the other concepts can be developed through this because the attainment of the understanding of this important function will depend upon many experiences. Such an organization enables the pupil to see clearly the relationship between the various facts, processes, principles taught in the course. They know that each unit contributes the course as a whole. Yes, of course, when you are considering 8th standard, or ninth or 10th, 8th standard, all the topics or units what we are dealing, they are one or the other way, they are interlinked and enable the students to understand the upcoming concepts. When you are dealing with the, for example, factorization or HCF and LCM in the first chapter, then it will helps to students for the other applications like that when it comes to the linear equations or solving the equations. So word problems like that comes in the algebra. In the geometrical concepts also, if they are studied about the properties of the polygons, then it helps for them to understand other theorems. So that those theorems helps to understand or application part of the properties of the polygons. So sequential arrangement when it comes togetherly, so that is nothing but unitary approach. The question of time and size need not enter in the organization of unit, but for most high school pupils it may take more than a month to assimilate. So of course if it is kept in one unit, big unit like that, it has to be, so most of the topics in 8th and ninth arranged like this only. So all those things kept in a one unit, so interlinked concept or interrelated concepts. Expenses seem to be show that a unit which can be studied in a 4 weeks is more suitable as to size. When it is not possible to finish it within the time, the teacher should find a way of simplifying the unit either by transferring some of the materials to the other units or by dividing into smaller units. Yes, of course, the unit is divided into subunits. All those subunits has to be deal with their particular aspects. It's not possible to give all the concepts at a time. So what are the under that particular unit, that the age group of matching, we have to match the age group of the students and the content matter, how much we have to deliver to the students, that is most important. So divide the complete into in sub number of units depending upon the subject matter and problems you are going to solve under that particular unit. Maybe 10, maybe 8, maybe sometimes 5, it is going to be happen like this. So that is nothing but unitary approaches. Okay. Characteristics of the unitary organization. It organizes a body of facts, theorems, or processes closely related to one another and so organized as to contribute to the understanding of an important aspect of the course. Yes, so the related, so all the information, theorem, process like that. So, 8th standard, the one big unit is there, theorem. So the theorems on triangle, so it is a unit, it will deals with the facts. So that is at a classification of a theorem and properties of a classification of a triangles and after that it will comes to the properties of a triangles, then it comes theorems and the application part. So this is completely one big unit, it is there like that you can analyze when you are going through the textbooks. It must be possible to present the theorems and process as a group in a form so definite that the learner may attain a conception of them before he undertakes the detailed study of the content of the unit. It must be possible to set up outcomes of the study so definite that they are clear not only to the teacher but also to the pupil. Yes, this is also when you are organizing a one big unit like that, unit wise all the contents. Before going to that, you must ensure what type of the learning outcome you are expecting from the students. That is most important. Then it is possible, so that is nothing but you can fix your own objectives while dealing with the such type of units or while giving to the students definite and what we are saying objectives of teaching, nothing but. Should be clear that there is no single type of organization which may be set up to determine as only acceptable list of units for a course. Units are organized to attain certain objectives of teaching of mathematics. Yes, of course. Every unit has to be possessed particular. So this may vary from different levels. Maybe as I said now earlier, primary level it is quite different. When you teaching a sets or number system, for 5th standard to the up to high school level, but the objectives or goals of that particular unit you have to fix it very clearly. So very important, that is one. So how much you are dealing at the primary level, the same unit can be taught to the high school level with a different objectives. That is the thing. They must be subjected to experimentation and revision. Yes, of course. A different set of objectives might influence considerably the choice of units. Unitary organization makes teaching and learning purposeful and intelligent. Yes, of course, every unit having their own very specific objectives and goals. So that's why it is said to be a very purposeful. So while they are finishing that particular course of whether it's the 8th standard or 7th standard or plus 11th class, so there should be in some objectives they are capable of doing certain things or skills or knowledge with related to the content of mathematics. Because the instructional materials are closely related to each other, they are easily retained. Economy of time effort should be the result. It's a very goal oriented, purposeful, unitary approach, and so already very clear cut objectives they are having. So how much has to be given at a particular level, so that's why it is going to be very useful for the students and as well as the teacher also. Very clear cut information. This is about a unitary approach. Steps in the unitary organization of curriculum. The following are the important steps in the unitary organization of the curriculum of mathematics. First one, when you are organizing a curriculum in this approach, the first step is setting up objectives. Setting of objectives to be attained in the important step in the plan of organizing a unit. The objective should be measurable and observable. They should be clear and specific, indicating the terminal learning outcome. Yes, so when you are organizing your mathematics curriculum as like unit wise, so whether it is in algebra, arithmetic or geometry, so you have to fix up very specific instructional objectives, nothing but behavioral objectives. These objectives should be measurable and observable. Nothing but if they are measurable and observable means instructional, specific instructional objectives you have to set up. So most of the nowadays you can go through the textbooks, they will given so in the beginning only. So the pupil must be able to, so after finishing this chapter they must be able to attain these things, like that they are given. So the few objectives before commencement of the every unit only. So after finishing the whole unit they must be capable of doing. So if they are presenting like that, the students also know what I should learn and in which dimension I have to understand the concepts also, like that. So the while teaching for teacher also, while teaching they can keep in mind and they can taught to the students. For both it is going to be very useful. So the setting up objective is the first step in organization of a unitary approach. The next one, preview of the unit. Preview. Before going to that, preview of the unit is also another important step in organizing a unit. The purpose of the preview is to let the pupil view it as a whole before he begins to study details. Yes, preview. Preview means before going to understand clearly each and every concept of the unit. So they have to be glimpse of the whole unit has to be understand. That is nothing but preview. Before begins to study details and to call his attention to the relations which exist among the various facts and principles that make up the whole unit. So that is the thing actually, preview. So that is another step has to be. Next, the methods of obtaining it may vary with different units and for different levels. The third step is that study outline of the unit. So objectives fixing, next preview, glimpse of the whole unit, what it is going to be cover. The next, study outline of the unit. The purpose of an outline is to provide the pupil when he begins the study of the unit with the direction as to what to study and how to do it most effectively. The teacher may include references to discussions or illustrations of the principles studied in the unit. Mimeographed copies should be made available and each people should receive a copy. So many things you can add up. So study outline of the unit. So what has to be, they have to be clearly understand each and every concept comes under that particular unit. They have to go through that one. Study outline. This is a outline, how much they have to study, like that. These are the three steps comes under the when you are organizing a mathematics curriculum by unitary method. These are the two methods we were discussed. Here it is about how much the content has to be organized based on the unitary approach. So till now we were discussed topical approach, spiral approach, isn't it, logical and psychological approach. The last one, it is unitary approach. In the next video I will move on to the another approach of curriculum organization. So till now we were discussed all these approaches. I hope all of you are understood clearly. And my request for you people is that by going through these methods theoretical way, you understood clearly about all these things. So the if you are having a textbook of 8th, 9th or any standard textbook, go through the chapters and study very well about that one. Analyze how the curriculum it is organized, whether it is in the form of a topical way or psychological logical way, spiral way, like that, whether they are organized. Check out, analyze it and write it in the form of your own analysis report. And what are the things you find out the mistakes, if it is improved version, if you are thinking, and write the suggestions for those things. Critical analysis of the curriculum organization of 8th standard, or critical analysis of 9th standard mathematics, critical analysis of 10th standard mathematics. You can go ahead with that one. So write a report for that and write a suggestion. Analyze as it is, how it is exhibited, and adopted the methods, what are the mistakes you can find out, then later you can suggest for the improvement. So that's a thing I am going to expect from you people. Those are the things. So after studying in detail about the theoretical component of curriculum construction and curriculum organization, you have to analyze the present curriculum system at the high school level. ಓಕೆ, ಮುಂದಿನ ವಿಡಿಯೋದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಭೇಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆರೋಗ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.